Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to read this company to you guys. The name is Monza, M-O-N-Z-A, the BMX. And it's basically a mountain bike, but it's old school. So any of you people that grew up in the 80s, 90s, Diamondbacks, Mongoose, you know, shoot, I'm trying to think, the other ones, BMX, Red Line was another one, I think. I can't remember. There's so many of them back in the day. Anyways, but yeah, they got old school shin knockers. But other things grab you. That's my favorite part. Change a little loose, I guess, when you tighten up. But anyway, like I said, it's basically a mountain bike, but it's old school design. They got several of them. The one I wanted had the mags. You know, that was the one I wanted, but this time it was sold out. So I got the one with spokes. So you get what you could take at the time. I should have waited, I guess. But I had to buy it through a firm. They have a payment plans. It's called a firm. Was the one I did. To be able to afford it. Yeah, it comes with a chain guard, but I didn't want it on there. I was trying to do old school. That's why I went with the old fight and grab you, grab your shin. Yeah, normally when we were younger, we didn't have reflectors on. We took them off too. But with today's society, people hitting everybody and running them over and stuff. I left them on. I'm too old. I don't want to get hit. But like I said, man, they're pretty decent bikes. It's just basically a mountain bike, but set up old school. They've got several colors and designs. But like I said, right now they're sold out of 3 or 4 of them because it's out of season. They'll get more of them in, I would guess, later on and produce maybe a new one. But the one I wanted had the white mags, but they didn't have it. But I just wanted to bring it to you guys. Like I said, if you want that old school nostalgic moment from when you were growing up, we used to ride our bikes around and I love it, cruising. Um, you know, and well, life's changed, ain't it? But anyway, like I said, if you want to get a mountain bike, buy a mountain bike. You're going to spend about the same amount of money anyways, unless you buy a cheap one. If you're going to be buying a bike for race speeding or whatever, get that. But if you're looking for, excuse me, a bike, from old school, like you grew up with, so there you go. It's got the big wheels on it and everything. Yeah, you can buy your old school bike like it was when you were a child, but they're so little. These are a lot bigger. Set up frames and everything. They got different ones you can check out and look it up. But it's Monza, M-O-N-Z-A. Bikes is, I said BMX. Makes them, I guess. That's what it says on the website. So anyway, I ain't making nothing out of it. So I just, throwing it out there for you guys, to check it out. Something you might be interested in. Of course, that's my favorite part right there. When I'm cruising, it's kind of cruising, just start spinning backwards. Something I always liked when I was a kid. All you need now is put some, put a card and a clothespin and a motorcycle or a can. Put a can there. Remember that. Anyways, I'm not faceless, so I'm sorry if the camera's upside down, but I'm not faceless. So it's extra person, not AI generated or nothing. But like I said, I ain't making nothing out of it. Sorry, I tried making, this is the third time making this video. It's backwards and upside down, and I couldn't get it to flip. So I ain't that smart with technology yet, so you have to bear with me. But like I said, it's pretty cool, man. If you ain't seen it, check it out. Something might be interesting in. When we get older, we start to tend to suffer when we're kids. And, like I said, you do the payment plan like I did, and make it affordable. Because I sure ain't got the kind of money to blow. But anyways, I was able to make payments. I bought it a few years back. I figured to make a video on it and let you guys know about it and check it out yourself. So I just ran across it one day, and it got my interest. So I got one. But I recommend it, if that's what you're looking for. Now, if you want to get a mountain bike, get you some mountain bike. You know what I mean? Spend about the same amount of money. And if you want to get a, one racing type 10 speed or whatever, go for that, whatever. This is what I wanted. So that's what I got. So like I said, man, nostalgic, old school. So, yeah, you get a chance, check it out. If that's what you're interested in. I ain't making nothing out of this. I just, just figured to let you guys see, check it out yourself. You know. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Thanks. Have a good one.